Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought it would be really interesting if I used a math-based approach to see if I could predict the podium for the men's individual competition at the Milano Cortina Olympics. And honestly, some of the results were interesting, not always surprising, but let's get straight into it. So when I ran my calculations, this was the ranking I got. So in first place, to no surprise, Ilya Malinin. Second, Yuma Kagiyama. Third, Shinsato. Fourth, Daniel Grassl. Fifth, Peter Gumenik. Sixth, Adam Xiaohim-Fa. Seventh, Kal Miura. And eighth, Mikhail Shaidarov. Let me quickly try to explain how I calculated everything because the methodology matters here. What I did was take the scores each skater achieved this season in both the short program and the free program, and then calculated averages from those scores. I also excluded national competitions because domestic scores tend to be a bit inflated. And honestly, every country is guilty of that, but I wanted this to be based on ISU international judging only. So how I calculated the averages was, for example, if a skater competed at the NHK Trophy in Japan, skated at Skate Canada, and skated at the Grand Prix final, I would add up all of their scores from those competitions and then divide it by 3. And that's how I would get their average short program score and then average free program score. Then I combined those two averages into a single combined average score, which gave me the ranking that you just saw. Now, averages don't tell the full story, and that's because ice is slippery, people make mistakes, and so on. So for this reason, I created a reliability score. So I split reliability into the short program and the free skate. And the idea behind it is quite simple, at least I like to think it's simple. Essentially, it's how likely is a skater to actually hit or exceed their average score. For example, with Ilya Malinin, I labeled his short program reliability as uncertain, and that's because this season he's already scored 6 or more points below his average short program score. So it's basically a 50-50 situation. He can hit it, but there's some volatility there. So overall, according to my calculations, the most unpredictable skaters here are Ilya Malinin and Adam Xiaohim-Fa. Adam, I think, has dealt with some injuries and maybe some other issues, so he hasn't been the most consistent. And for example, Ilya has shown his inconsistency within the team competition, even though I'm still pretty certain he'll win. In the teams competition, in the free skate, he was 15 points below his lowest free skate score this season. That said, however, his scoring potential is so high, the inconsistency doesn't really matter here. Now, I just wanted to touch on Peter Gumenik because he was the trickiest skater to evaluate. And that's because I only had one ISU international result from him, which was in September. I think where it becomes really interesting is the fight for silver and bronze. Even my calculations are tipping Yuma Kagiyama to win, and that's really because of his strong short program performance. I think if we see that he doesn't perform strong in the short program, we can almost rule out silver place just because Shinsato could steal it. So, however, any of those top 8 men could also get the silver or bronze. Another outlier is somebody that's not on my table, but Junhwa Cha, Steven Gogolev, he looked really strong in the team event, and a few others as well, like Kevin Amos, Boyang Jin. I'm less confident in Boyang Jin, but there's always a very slim chance. Yeah, that's my podium prediction. I hope it's been somewhat clear. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who would you have on the podium? Let me know. I'd be very interested to hear. And yeah, see you in the next video.